The World Cup is nearly upon us, and here at Tereak Talks with myself and Edmin, we're going to be bringing you the preview show and our predictions. So let's go. Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and welcome back to another preview and prediction show. But this one for the World Cup, as you can see with the title, the thumbnail, and even the background, as you can see right here, very World Cup themed. We've got, could have created a World Cup intro, but just for a matter of time, really. I didn't get that sorted, but maybe we will have that for you when we'll be bringing in you more World Cup content. But here I am with no other. Let me just adjust this here so we can both get us in shot and in screen fully with my brother Edmin, live in the flesh. How are you, man?
Yeah, all good, thank you.
Good. Let us know if the audio is all good as well. Sorry, using different setup and that. But how are you feeling?
I'm starting to get excited. The World Cup's near. I think we can forget about all the politics. We'll leave that to other people to talk about. We're just going to be here to talk about the football, give you some of our thoughts on the teams coming up. A lot of chat on England, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one, for many reasons. The time of year it is, of course, in the middle of a Premier League season and middle of a lot of team seasons in and around the world. But for other teams and other nations, just at the end of theirs, because some other nations, like in USA, I think, is it in the middle of their season in the summer?
Yeah, it's done now, isn't it? So
it's just done. So it's usually in the middle of their season when we have like a World Cup and those things there. So it's an interesting one, interesting time, of course. But big up each and every one of you that are in the comments here watching live. Let us know once again if the audio is good, because you guys were relying on you today if everything's running smoothly. Let us know. But big up yourself, Errol in the place. Hope you're keeping well. Saying big up, bro. Hope you're having a good one. Big up yourself, Mr. 200, Granddaddy Gooner now saying, evening, Tereak. There is only one winner, and that is Qatar. They will not allow any other team to win. Refs will come away rich. Hey, you could, with the refs coming away rich, in the Premier League, and sometimes there's dodgy decisions in our game. And, as always, it's even between Arsenal and Wolves, there's been plenty of historical messes from the referee. But hopefully in terms of referee performances, just quickly on this, they usually are better in international football, especially in the tournaments. Are you kind of looking forward to seeing new rules being implemented or new technology like the AI for offsides?
For offside, that sounds interesting. It should make things quicker, shouldn't it? And I remember watching the VAR in 2018 and it felt a lot quicker than what it is now, 4 years later in the Premier League. So I'm hoping that's the standards that we can see again.
Yeah, exactly that. I agree. I hope so, because that was a good one in 2018, I thought. Big up yourself, Red Devil Yannick. Who do you think will win the World Cup? We're going to bring that to you right now. Don't you worry about that. And you'll be able to see that in the end. And me and Ed, we're going to have to agree on this one. We create plenty of debate topics. And if me and Ed come to a stalemate, we're going to have to rely on you guys watching live. But if you're watching afterwards, make sure to chuck them into the comments right there. G Staffy, hello. Hope you're keeping good. And look at that. Where's Tereak? I don't see that.
You get it every time.
Not from G Staffy. Hey, but now love to yourself, G Staffy. I'm watching the England versus Iran in my French lesson for the first half and then maths in the second half. Going to be some scenes. Oh, aren't they going to let you watch that?
Yeah, no, they are. But I'm guessing it's just in between two periods.
I'll get you. Yeah. So you're going to be doing lessons and that. I'll get you. Yeah, now that should be good. Hey, I'm glad. You know what? For French and maths, you're missing two good lessons right there, isn't she?
Yeah. Of the ones to pick, you'd rather be watching football.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think many would win, but maths and I would have been happy to give up maths and French
all day, every day. I hope one of the African countries wins the World Cup. Not many of the African countries are favourites unless another, a massive upset happens, like we see in the Euros a lot of the times. When's the last time there's been a World Cup upset in terms of a win?
South Korea went really far, didn't they?
Yeah, 2002.
2002. That was probably the last one because they went all the way to the quarters, semis.
They went far. Semis.
They went far. I remember when they beat Italy.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. So that was probably the last big shock. And obviously the Euros, you always go back to Greece,
Portugal. They were an upset.
Yeah, but Portugal at least had players that you'd heard of. Greece were a load of blokes that you'd never heard of. What
do you mean about, is he Kyriakos? Or no, what was it? Karagounis. That's the one who played for Fulham.
And Giannakopoulos that played for
Stelios.
Yeah, for Bolton.
You always
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Household names.
Exactly. Thank you for that, G Staffy. Actually running smoothly for once. Running late as well.
Yeah,
don't worry about
that. That was on me though. We've got childcare issues. We are at my house.
Big up yourself, Wilf. He's saying, sup peeps, Ed, who's that bloke in the hat? Exactly. It is the sidekick of the channel. And you've taken over now with the preview shows. But big up yourself. Wilf, my brother, as G Staffy has said right there. Nice seeing you there, people. Look at Roland in at the cut.
I didn't know he was a big England fan. Thanks, Roland.
If you don't know, Roland is supporting Ghana, as he's a Ghanaian as well with Ghanaian heritage. Big up yourself, my brother, saying we are winning the World Cup right there. Big up yourself, CM, watching over on Twitch with those Twitch emojis right there. I like to see that realist. Arsene Wenger, Mesut Ozil, and Unai Emery. What's wrong with the audio? Can't hear nothing. Hey, he's messing with us here.
It's all over the place.
The teachers has a meeting the other day. Oh, nice. They've sorted you out. Big up my brother Crab in the place. And big up my Midland Gooners. Hope you're keeping well, Crab. Hope you're having a good one and looking forward to this World Cup. I saw Crab post a tweet, in fact, actually earlier in terms of the World Cup shirts. Me and Ed were having a discussion off the back of it in the end. And I'm liking. What's your favourite one?
Croatia. Croatia's my favourite. I always like the Czechs. The Czech pattern they got going.
They're not in the World Cup. No. But do you like that, people? Sorry,
I swear we just lost someone.
I know, exactly. We'll lose more in a bit.
What's your favourite shirt, though?
I said Germany when I've seen it.
Germany away.
Yeah, I like the Brazil one away. The blue one. Oh, you'll be able to see that
in the
thumbnail.
Yeah.
Nice. The Brazil away one. I mean, Brazil home. They always look a lot similar, but they always look beautiful.
Just to get back on rolling, so Ghana as well. Ghana's kits.
You said the numbers.
Yeah, I like the bold numbers at the front. That's a new look. I like it.
And if you don't know Ed, you already know that he loves numbers. So if they look nice, if the numbers are good, depends on what numbers players are wearing.
Yeah,
see,
I haven't got to that yet. England haven't released that yet. I've got Twitches going until that happens.
Exactly. I'm so excited to miss French and Mass. You don't understand. Yeah, I can see that.
We do understand. We've been there.
Oh, nice. Exactly. Turkey got to the semi-finals.
They did. Good point.
Wow. Fair play, Roland. You see?
Lost to Brazil. Roland knows more stuff than me about this stuff.
Yeah, he remembers a lot.
I think they beat Brazil.
Exactly. Big up yourself, Roland, right there. And who certainly will be doing a lot of content over this competition. So people, the man for the tournaments as well, go subscribe over to Pros Only Sports over there. And I'm sure you'll see me on there quite a few times. T-Money, massive. you managed to get...
He's starting this new thing now that he says I look like Wayne Rooney.
Right?
That's one I don't see.
I think Wayne Rooney's got more ginger as he's gone older, though. You know, from brown hair, turning grey, gets ginger.
It's not even his real hair, is it? So who knows what it is?
Yeah, exactly. But big up each and every one of you. Paxton, with that breaking news, we'll talk about it. Pulled out. It's not Ghana. They wish they had Sadio Mane.
He's taking the heat off me at least now.
It's usually it's usually me when I get in trouble with Wilford King when I get them mixed up. But now, Mane is out of the Senegal squad. Big up yourself, Pax, for bringing that here. And big up yourself, Yannick Boyd. Hey, big up yourself, Yannick. Is this Red Devil Yannick by any chance? I hope Denmark win. Nice seeing you in here if it is your first time, Yannick. Denmark, dark horses. A lot of people's dark horses.
Crab's calling you up for not liking his tweet. Oh dear.
Oh, sorry. I get distracted, don't I, Ed?
Just for completeness.
Yeah.
Paxton did actually say Senegal. He did change.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah.
Don't jump on him too.
Exactly. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Big up Ronaldo going on soon. Yeah, it is as well. So don't all leave us, people. He has just started his second part of the interview. You can always watch that back, but we need you here for the live. We need you here. All right, people. We do. There you go, Crab. There you go, right there, my brother. I actually was meant to do that. I've given you the shout out for it. Always love a Croatia shirt, says Wilf right here. Ghana could have had Nketiah, but he didn't make a decision in time. What I was going to say about Ghana, got you right there, my brother. So yeah, he's in Ghana now. In fact, I got Costa Rica and USA.
Yeah, shall I tell you who I've got, Crab? I've got Qatar. I win.
Exactly that. There, look at Crab. He's thrown out the allocation.
All over the place.
Denmark are going to be a proper dark horse. We'll get into that, people. We will right now. You know what? Let's kick it off. But if you haven't done so already, if you're watching later, make sure you do hit that like button. It does help us a lot, and we do appreciate each and every one of you that are here watching live as we're about to kick off this one. So, should we start off with the first group, Group A? Me and Ed, what we're going to do in terms of the format is we're going to give you each country, well, each group. I'm doing Group A, Ed's doing Group B, I'm doing Group C, and following onwards from there. So I'm going to be giving you the star man for each team in Group A, and also a one to watch before we run through our predictions. And let's start off with the hosts. In fact, in Qatar. With Qatar, you know, hosting this competition.
Give me some hope, T, that I've got something in this sweepstakes.
So this is Ed's team in the sweepstakes. Our team, in fact, representing Tereak Talks. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, so we've got Qatar now, and yeah, we've got to be looking at this. We've got to be honest. Not many of us, I don't think any of us have seen Qatar, and we know building up into this tournament, they have invested a lot of money when they were granted this into their youth academy, into their football programs, just so they wouldn't get embarrassed, in fact. And that's the reason why they've done it. And yeah, they do have some players that, you know, are interesting. And the star man, I'm sure you might have heard this name if you watched any of the preview show, is Akram Afif. And he's actually a 25-year-old wide man. He can play in behind and can play anywhere behind the striker. And I'm sure he could probably play out front with this goal record, because he scored 63 goals in 77 appearances for Al Sadd. Al Sadd, previously managed by Xavi Hernandez, the current Barcelona manager. And who else plays for Al Sadd? I wonder if you know a name, a certain Santi Cazorla. So he's an Al Sadd legend. Also spent time in Spain with Sevilla and Villarreal, Sevilla under their ranks, but he got signed by Villarreal. I think he made one appearance though. He's their star man, 25-year-old, direct, and got a good goal scoring touch. And the one to watch, I'm going to go for his strike partner, and it is Alois Ali as well. So he's a strike partner. He's also played in Europe, played for LASK, who are an Austrian side, but he only scored one goal in 7 appearances there. Also at the age of 25. So yeah, actually 26. In fact, I remember checking earlier. So Qatar, they're going to be looking to attack and probably defend like throughout most of it, but with the counter attack with those strikers there. And in terms of, Ecuador, we'll go for the next one because that is the first game in between Ecuador. We'll get the more difficult ones out of the way. It's a little bit easier for Ecuador, in fact, because they've got a lot more compared to Qatar of notorious players, and their star man, which is most people are saying, Moises Caicedo, the Brighton midfielder. We know the heartbeat for Brighton, the heartbeat in that midfield for Ecuador. A lot of energy, breaking up play, progressing the ball, driving it, giving you a real box-to-box feel in that midfield, and some quality as well, the young man. I guess you can kind of put him in both, one star man or one to watch. If you're looking from like a bigger perspective, like an Arsenal, Chelsea has been linked with a lot, and even Liverpool during the summer. But then their one to watch for me is their centre-back, and he's their left-footed centre-back, who can also play at left-back, is Piero Hincapié, who is, he's 6 foot, so he's not the tallest, but he's not, that's not the smallest at all. And he can cover anywhere on that left side in terms of defensive position, very comfortable on the ball, bringing it out. But first and foremost, he's a front-footed defender. Yeah, very aggressive in the tackle, like a lot of South Americans are. And then for the other two, we're going to talk about the big boys, the Netherlands. For me, I put their star man as Memphis Depay. And the reason I've done that is because they're going to be relying on him to score the goals. I know they've got more players that you know that you probably think would have a big impact, like a Virgil van Dijk. They've got a plethora of players that can make an impact for their side and for the Netherlands. But for me, Memphis Depay, if you're going to be trying to play this Dutch way that Louis van Gaal has implemented, they are very demanding, the Netherlands fans, the Dutch fans. So I'm looking at Memphis Depay, that focal point, whoever's playing off of him. And the one to watch playing off of him is going to be Cody Gakpo, of course, in this tournament. A lot of hype surrounding his name, a lot of plaudits given by a lot of people, like Moss, who loves Cody Gakpo. Whenever I've seen him play, leaves a lot to be desired. But in these tournaments, Ed will be able to tell you, I'm sure you guys will remember, make or break for a lot of these players in terms of their next move in their career. So, yeah, Cody Gakpo, flying this season, definitely one to watch and will be a danger man. And for Senegal, their star man would usually be Sadio Mane, but due to injury, going to go for Kalidou Koulibaly, as they are Senegal. They definitely do defend a lot, and we've seen it. Me and Roland, Pros Only Sports, and Rich as well, of course, when they was watching AFCON, the winners in Senegal definitely play with a bit more pragmatism, trying to run everything through Sadio Mane, which is why it's an even bigger loss, not just being their star man, but they literally tactically adapt for Sadio Mane and his strengths. So it's going to be an interesting to see how they're going to play there. They defend first with Koulibaly. He's going to be a big presence in there. And then the one to watch, see, someone who's going to have to take up that mantle. Premier League fans, you'll be very familiar with him, and that is Ismaila Sarr. You know, the very erratic winger who can have a 10 out of 10 game against a Liverpool who won the league, and then, a 0 out of 10 against a Norwich or something like that. So, he's very erratic and inconsistent. But as Ed was saying earlier to me, in these types of tournaments, they can prove big. And this is where these players can make their impact. So, Ismaila Sarr is going to be the one to watch. But Ed, I'll give you the honors first, as we do have this on screen so that you guys can join along. For Group A, who are you selecting? Who would you put in to be that winner? Of course, Netherlands, heavy favourites. Mm-hmm. Senegal, we're going to give them a tough test beforehand. But Ecuador, are they a slight underdog? Of course, the hosts who may be able to, generate something. I don't know, like Russia did, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe, and there's a lot of host nations that have surprised us. I mean, I know South Africa didn't qualify, but their opening game obviously was that impressive winner, that amazing commentary as well, where Peter Drury said it was a win for Africa, that first game, and all that kind of stuff. But the winner has to be the Netherlands from this group, right? With all of those players that you mentioned, I don't think you even touched on sort of De Ligt and Van Dijk and all those types of people. I don't think Qatar are really going to pick up anything. There you go, just as Paxton
saying 0 points. Qatar versus Ecuador. I'm sorry, but a dead opening game. I said this to Ed. I'm going to be watching it. Don't worry about that, Pax. I'm a football sicko. But if this was a second game in the group, or even if this game was happening later on, I would definitely not watch it. For sure, I definitely understand what you're saying. Red Devil going in early there. Portugal versus Argentina. We'll get to that. Indeed. And listen to Pros Only Sports right there. Listen to them saying smash a like on the video, sub to the channel if you're new. Big up yourself, my brother Roland. Qatar gonna need some cough medicine.
Bringing all the dad jokes in
to get out of that group. Pax Qatar 0. What exactly? And LVG, the point. Madman.
That is obviously you have the stereotype of Holland being, or the Netherlands, being this team that can't get on and blowing up. But Louis van Gaal in that mixed as well, he's either going to be drag them all together, or, as Paxton said, he also is a little bit of a madman. So it'd be interesting to see how they do. But I think they are going to be the winners. And I think for me, the runners-up, I think I'd have made a bigger pull for Senegal prior to the Mane news that we've had. But now I think I would go with Ecuador, personally.
I'm going to go with Ecuador as well, to be honest. And Ecuador, they're a side when they do play in South America, they lose to the big boys, you know, your Brazil, Argentina, but they don't profit off of that. They try and beat the teams in and around them, like a Honduras, which they had to do to get into this stage here. So I'm going Ecuador. It might be a mad shout, but the Senegal reliance on Sadio Mane is ridiculous. And having watched them as well, I could see it then. And Roland, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think Senegal without Mane are going to qualify? Guys in the chat, let me know your thoughts if you've seen any much of Senegal at all, especially when the AFCON was on. That was probably the biggest opportunity you'd have been able to see. So yeah, I'm going Netherlands and Ecuador. That's what we're agreeing with.
Yep.
We're going with that first one.
Yep.
There we go. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Let's move
more
on.
democracy than FIFA has shown for a long time.
Exactly. So there's the Group A winners. And we're going to move on into Group B right now. And Ed's going to bring you the preview for this one here.
Yeah.
The star men and the one to watch.
Yeah, so we'll start off. You know what, we'll do England last because it's the biggest one. So let's start off with America. Start off with the US of A. I've got the one to watch. I've gone for Timothy Weah. Exciting winger. Definitely someone that the USA have relied upon to bring some attacking intent. He's got some European football experience as well. I think the star man, although I think if you watch him week in, week out for Chelsea, you would say that maybe he's not what he was when he came over and how he was at Dortmund. But for the USA, it's definitely Pulisic for me. He's still their biggest man. He's still Captain America. He's still their poster boy. And we know how America and American sports love their poster boys. So I still think for them, it's going to be him. It'll be interesting to see how he goes on the back of sort of a very up and down start to this, well, mostly down start to the season at Chelsea. Not played very much under Potter either, I don't think either. So I think he's definitely in a little bit of limbo at the moment. We'll talk about where we think they're going to go at the minute, but I'm not staking my colours to the mast quite early. I'm not overly confident that America get out of this group. Not one for me, I don't think. We'll move on to England's first opponents, Iran. There's probably a dad joke in there about running, Wilf, if you want to work on it. Their star man, based on his goal scoring record, I mean, hands up, I'm not hugely around Iran and across everything they've done. But their star striker is Sadar Uzman, who's got 41 goals in 65 games for Iran. Their one to watch is his strike partner, who's, let's try and get it right, Biranuand, who's their second striker. His goal scoring is not as high as his strike partner Azmoun, but he is more of the link man apparently. And I have listened to a couple of podcasts over the last couple of weeks, and Iran and the journalists and people that watch and the pundits that watch Iran are very confident that they're going to get something out of this group. So don't sleep on them just because maybe they're a nation we don't know very much about. Moving on to our British counterparts, Wales. Star man has to be Gareth Bale. Obviously, his star is waning right now, but he is still very much the star man of the Welsh team. Everything will revolve around him, a bit like how we were just talking about with Mane. He will start and likely play every minute that he possibly can. He's obviously been working towards being fit for this World Cup, their first one since 1954. And maybe one to watch that I've gone for slightly left field. I've gone for Kiefer Moore. I've got, not only is he doing all right at Bournemouth at the minute, but I just think he's going to be a very different striker to most teams. He's going to be the one they hit long. He's going to be the one holding it all up. If Wales are going to do anything in this tournament, they're going to have to sort of play on that underdog spirit. And what embodies an underdog spirit more than an old-fashioned target man? So I'm going for Kiefer Moore as the one to watch. There are others, obviously, that we know of through the Premier League. Brennan Johnson, for example, Nico Williams,
Dan James.
I mean, he's fast, so you never know. He might fall over and put the ball in. But I'm going to go just maybe a bit left field or maybe a bit boring. But I'm going to go for Kiefer Moore just for the difference value that he brings. And for England, star man has to be Gooners, cover your ears, has to be Harry Kane. It has to be our star striker. the one who's either going to, has he broken Rooney's record yet, or is he a couple away?
Cool question. I don't know.
I'm assuming he's a couple away because I think I'd remember if he'd broken it. So he's got to be our star man. He's got to be the focal point for all of our attacks. And the one to watch, again, this probably isn't going to surprise anyone. I've gone for Jude Bellingham. I think for me, he has to start in midfield with Declan Rice. He's already taken the Bundesliga by storm. He's already been linked for...
You said that in a very German way there.
Did I?
Very storm. Yeah.
I put my teeth back in. And yeah, there's obviously links to Liverpool, Man United, and anyone else who can afford him to bring him back over to England. It just has to be Jude Bellingham for me as the one to watch.
Of course, definitely. It's a big tournament for Jude as well. Coming into this. One sec, if you
to shuffle.
Yeah. That's better. There we go. Yeah, so it's a big tournament for Jude as well in this one, given the fact, how old is he? What, 19, 18, 19?
Yeah, 19.
Massive. He's going to get a move most likely off the back of this. Whether it's in the next summer or the summer after, we'll have to wait and see. But in terms of the predictions for this one, we have to bring this up on stream right now. I think we're all going to say it. England to win, right? Even if you're the most pessimistic of England fans out there, which me and Ed certainly aren't. If you've heard us speak about England before, we're probably, it seems like we're one of the most optimistic ones given the consensus out there. But yeah, for me, England definitely winning this group. First game against Iran, it's more of a test to see,
how we
Iran
break down that team as
yeah,
well.
because they are a defensive, we've seen it against Portugal. Guys, I wonder if you remember in the last World Cup, they were very, very defensively strong. Who's their manager again? Carlos
Queiroz.
That's it. Yeah, you go. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm more interested to see how Iran will pose really, because it's quite tight between the other three. But who do you think is going to make it into that second place?
So I've gone for Iran.
What's your reason to go for Iran over USA or Wales?
So for me, USA, I don't think they're there. I think Paxton brought up their squad. It's a little bit average when you get past some of the names that you have heard of. And I saw Wilf's question. Yeah, he is George Weah's son. So yes, he is related to him. I see them finishing maybe third or fourth, dependent on Wales. For me, they've got, like I said, without trying to be disrespectful, that FA Cup sort of minnows vibe about them, and that is what their brand, isn't it? It is about the smaller nation taking on the bigger nations. They're better than some of their parts and all those other cliches. For me, I see them drawing two of the games. I see the England game is going to be big in terms of if England have won the first two, what kind of England team do we put out? Do we give some of those players that may or may not play more minutes? Do we change our team around using all the substitutions, etc.? That might give Wales a backdoor in. But I see them maybe drawing too many games in this to pick up enough points. Whereas I see Iran potentially beating the USA, obviously politically, incredibly interesting between those two teams as well. But I'm going to go with Iran. And also, like I pointed out to you earlier, that's a good point, Wolf, thank you. But also that I think they have the best manager in this group in terms of being able to set up a team to do well and to progress in the tournament. We've got a lot of scope there with what we've seen Queiroz do with Egypt and other teams he's managed to drag through, making them better than the sum of their parts as well. So I see them beating. I see England beating them just about. I see them beating the USA and potentially drawing with Wales, and I think, or even winning. So I see them just having too much for the other two teams.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. I don't know. I've just got faith in Wales because of that camaraderie that they built. Like, to beat that Ukraine side, by the way, that Ukraine side were very motivated and very emotionally invested in that game. And they were fortunate, of course, but you're going to need fortune when you're a nation like Wales. And I think in international football, pragmatic style will always have do you well. And what I will say for Iran is what they do play in a pragmatic way, but I don't think they have the pace within their players, the natural athleticism to be able to cause a threat on the counter, whereas Wales have that in abundance. Right, Bale not really anymore. Dan James, Brennan Johnson, they're the main ones, and then you've got your focal point in Kiefer Moore, as you said, to hold it up there. Their wing backs are more than able to get balls into the box with a Nico Williams, and on that left side, who did they actually play on the left side? I'm not sure. Hey, let us know who did they play on that left side, but I know Nico Williams.
Nico Williams is their left wing back, isn't he?
Who's that? No, who's their right wing back? Who's their left wing back? We'll have to have a look.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out. But yeah, for sure. I know it's not Ben Davies. He plays in the back three.
And it's not Chris Gunter anymore. Bless him.
No, he was in the last Euro squad. But yeah, and being the first World Cup, I don't know, man. I just feel like they'll be able to. I've just got that feeling. But I hear what you're saying about Iran. You know what? Because we have to agree on this. I'm happy to go with Iran, and I think you might be right in the end. But yeah, that Iran versus, Wales, all of Wales's games, well, the first two are so important for them. They can draw against USA and beat Iran, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're well set up then, aren't they?
Yeah. As whoever, when they are quite fortunate, in fact, to come up against England in their last game. But we might be saying differently if they do draw those first two games, indeed. So yeah, we'll go with Iran. And they're getting the game out of the way there first, and they can look to build on that. So England and Iran to qualify there. But before we carry on, let's see, big up to each and every one of you that has joined us. If I haven't bigged you up already, like Brush in the play saying big up, guys. We knew who's going to win. Holland, hashtag Van Brushton. Big up yourself, my brother Brush. And then, in terms of Timothy Weah, Wilf, it is George's son. And he came up at PSG indeed. Let's see what your thoughts are, people. Big up yourself, King, in here as well, as he said. Big up Scholes and Oxlade Chamberlain.
Right, wow.
Hey,
I'll take that as a compliment, to be honest. If we're talking about football,
what's with all these ex-Man United players you keep getting called, bro?
I don't know. I'm from nowhere near Manchester, so I could very much be a United fan.
Ooh, love that. We still got to hate United on this show. Hope you're all well, brother. Hope you're well too, my man. Big up Moss in the place. Hope you're keeping good. I don't have a Tea Talks group. I don't have one. In fact, King, don't use my government name. Big up yourself. Raptors cap. Yeah, exactly. But I'm not sure if you're going to like what my thoughts on Canada are, but yeah, big up yourself. This is a FIFA.
No, it's just a way for us to show who we think is going to go through, Moss. This was just the easiest way to find it.
Yeah. And then there's the code from us if you want to join their fancy league right there. Big up yourself, Nippon in here as well, and each and every one of you watching. We're just going to run through it. We're short on time here, Nippon, so unfortunately, my brother will run through, but there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to join during plenty of watch-alongs we're going to have through here. It's going to be more like a party atmosphere, so yeah, you can come in, have your say, and do what you need to do, my brother, as well. Big up yourself, Niall. Nice seeing you in here. Hope you're keeping good and well. But yeah, we'll move on into Group C now. This is where I'm talking about them. And the teams are in Group C, of course. The favourites in this group, and one of the favourites for the competition, and that is Argentina. Of course, Argentina.
I wonder who their star man is.
Exactly. I wonder who their star man is, of course. It's going to be Lionel Messi, the captain, whose role is a lot different now. Thanks, bro. Whose role is a lot different in this Argentina squad, where he's not... He is, of course, still the focal point, but he's taken much more of a leadership role, leading by off the pitch activities rather than on the pitch, whereas previously he was the captain, of course, but it's more to do with what he can carry with them on the pitch, whereas this team is a lot more built around him now, in fact, and it's more built in terms of working towards the latter end of his career, and hopefully that they'll be able to do that with a real pressing, aggressive forwards, with a workhorses in midfield that are able to press and defend well, with aggressive centre-backs, of course, Lisandro Martinez, your Christian Romero's, probably two of the most aggressive centre-backs, front-foot defenders in the Premier League. Nicolas Otamendi, he also starts a lot. He actually starts over Alessandro Martinez. So it's quite interesting. They're much more well balanced throughout their side as they have been previously. Emi Martinez as their goalkeeper, and their one to watch is someone that starts at right back for them, but you guys might not be particularly familiar. I know, Brush, you might be because you're a Serie A fan, and that is Nahuel Molina, who is the reason I say he was in Serie A because he's currently at Atletico Madrid, but he was originally signed from Udinese. So him and that Destiny Udoji, they were breaking through and they were causing a lot of problems to a lot of Serie A defenses as attacking wing backs. But he'll be playing in a back four, which, in a very attacking side and expansive side in Argentina with a lot of grit and grind. So they'll be able to do that there. So Argentina, starman, Lionel Messi, and one to watch. Keep your eye on people, Nahuel Molina as well. And for the side that they're going to be coming up against first in Saudi Arabia, I'm not going to really spend too much time on them because I'll be doing you a disservice by trying to lie to you and say I know much more about them when I don't. Their star man is Salem Al-Dosari, who, thanks to Jacob, he read it in a Match magazine. He's a very tricky winger, apparently. He likes to take a shot from outside of the box so he can score a screamer. Thanks to my nephew right there and Ed's son for helping us there. And then their one to watch is their left back, another fullback we're doing here, and that is Yassir Ghassan Al-Shernani, who's a quick and pacey fullback. He's good at the recovery challenge, but is also good at going forward, apparently, because he's a good athlete. I haven't seen too much of him, but yeah, look out for that.
That's one of the tropes that they always bring out for players that we don't know much about, isn't it?
Yeah, good athletes.
And I don't know if Roland's still in here, but I remember for loads of years it was just African teams, or they can run a lot.
And
all the awful stereotypes and borderline passive aggressive racism. About, or they're from Africa, therefore they must run quick and run for days. And I think that's what we saw with Saudi Arabian players don't play out of Saudi Arabia, do they? So we just don't see them very much.
No. Football's quite big there, like in terms of for their league and nation and that, but not in terms of quality. Mexico, star man, of course, it's Raul Jimenez in terms of how they play. They don't score many goals at all, and they have missed him since.
Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar to you.
A team with Raul Jimenez that doesn't score many goals and relies upon him. Yeah, it does sound familiar indeed. But also for them, they're one to watch, and I think this could be a breakout tournament for him. You might be familiar with him, is Edson Alvarez, the Ajax midfielder, who was approached by Chelsea towards deadline day, but Ajax said no. Although he wanted to leave, this could be a big one for him if he is to get that move in January or in the summer, whenever he does make that move and step up. It's going to be a big one for him. Tough tackling defensive midfielder. Can also play in that centre-back position as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a big tournament for him. And, Mexico usually do well in the groups, but never after that. Always get knocked out in the round of 16. And the competition for that second place is Poland. Another one, star man. You'll already know who this is. For me, it has to be Robert Lewandowski, of course. I can see Moss saying Lozano, sorry. Not anymore, really, for Mexico. We know a lot about Irving Lozano. He had a very good breakout tournament in 2018. And because he had a big breakout tournament, not really a one to watch now. He hasn't really hit the ground running at Napoli. He had a good time at PSV. It's not been great there, but yeah, in terms of that. But I like that shout, and I like Gutierrez, the PSV midfielder. He's good, but Edson Alvarez just that level higher for me. He's a Champions League midfielder, and yeah, he's performed well for Ajax in that league, and he's a champion as well over Gutierrez. But for Poland, their one to watch for me is Nikola Zaluski. And yes, Zaluski, the one who plays for Roma under Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho doesn't give many young players the nod, especially in the side that he likes to build at Roma. But he's someone that's broken in on that left wing back position. And if you can get into this Poland side, hold it down with a Matty Cash, people, be careful. He's a very young, up-and-coming talent, Zaluski. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does. And if he can provide any assists or crosses in for Robert Lewandowski, indeed. Look, Marcin Zielinski in here, very good player. Someone we are quite familiar with by now with Piotr Zielinski. But yeah, very good player. But mine for me is Nikola Zalewski as well. Interesting here. So yes, Ed, predictions for this one. Once again, I think it's pretty straightforward who we're going to go with in first place.
Yeah, the first one is the GOATs team, Argentina. So the next one, we had a little bit of a debate before we came live, wasn't it, about this? I'm still going Mexico, but I'm happy to go with Poland as well. Mexico, they're, without trying to sound patronising again, they are always the other team that I love to watch other than England in a World Cup. Just they bring colour, excitement, their players try stuff. Obviously, the link to Raul Jimenez now has made that even deeper. But my first World Cup was 1994, where Mexico, with Blanco and everyone, it burst onto the scenes. And Jorge Campos, who's like 3'6", wearing, fluorescent goalkeeper jerseys and stuff. They were different, and I've loved them ever since. So I'd go Mexico, but with Jimenez the way he is, the fact that he's their focal point for goals. Poland have Lewandowski, probably the best number 9 of the last 15 years or so, out and out striker.
Definitely,
out and out striker. If you take away the fact that Ronaldo turned into one, maybe. So I'm happy to go either way, but I would leave Mexico. But this is your group, so you can have the final say.
I'm going to have to go with Poland, people, because Mexico are so heavily reliant. And we do see this a lot in international football, where your sides, you don't get to sign players. You don't get to sign who you choose what position and what teams you really want to build upon in that. So they are heavily reliant in terms of their forward line for goals with Raul Jimenez. I just can't see them doing it. Poland side, much more balanced in my eyes. Good, strong defenders, not the quickest, so they do play a lot more pragmatic and sit back with, Kamil Glik, Jan Bednarek, those likes of Wojciech Szczesny in goal, Matty Cash, providing a lot of, and Mossy, I know you saw them in the Netherlands-Poland game. Matty Cash was a very good player in that one and caused Netherlands a lot of problems. Then with Robert Lewandowski up top, in international football, what's it always take, people? One goal. All it takes is that one goal. So for me, I'm going with a Polish team to finish second. Let's see what you guys are saying in here. Moss has gone for Polska, Argentina for me there. Argentina and Mexico for me to go through, which is Moss and Wilf. It's kind of like how it's for me and Ed right there. Lautaro's team in this one here is Lautaro Martinez, the striker. Group C, tough one to call the second team.
It's going to be a fun group, this group.
You won't pick Canada, but you will pick Mexico. That could not beat us. Well, I didn't pick Mexico. So, yeah, but you'll see. I don't think you'll like Canada in what I'll choose there. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Mexico. And also with Mexico, they didn't have Raul Jimenez or a fit and firing one. And as I said, with what I know of Mexico, they do play a lot for that man and build their team around them. Moss, he's liking me now. Good call, Tereak Polska.
He's up and down.
Gonna do it this time, as they've been disappointments before. I think they got enough to do it now in Poland. Group D. This one's yours, my brother. So Group D, the interesting one, I will say.
Yeah, starting off with one of the favourites, I reckon. Well, maybe one of the favourites a few weeks ago with some of the injuries that have been coming out recently. So we'll start off with France. Starman, he's quite obviously Kylian Mbappe.
Of course.
I think he's going to be one of the stars of the tournament. He was one of the stars at the tournament in 2018 when he was, 12, however young he was. One to watch, I've gone for Camavinga.
Okay, yeah, because he's going to start now.
Yeah, he's going to start now with the midfield, different, with Pogba, Kante all gone. They've also lost, who are we talking about? Kimpembe has gone as well, and Kunku as well.
Announced today.
So there's but all four of those players are big players that probably would have at least been in the 14, 15 that would have played in every single game. So to miss four of those players, it's quite a big deal. So I'm going with Camavinga. We saw the difference he made in the Champions League as well last year as well. So I think he might be. It's not necessarily an out of the blue picking someone with the reputation he has, but I am going to go for Camavinga. It'd be interesting to see how France's midfield, with those injuries, all of a sudden it becomes the it doesn't look as good as it did before. So it'd be really interesting because they were everyone's nailed on favourites, it felt like 6 months ago. But with the way things have panned out, very different. Moving on to Australia. Gone for their star man. So all the stuff I read about the Australian team, their star man is still apparently Matt Ryan. Their goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper, man.
Their goalkeeper. I think he's their vice captain as well, I believe. Important in there. One of the ones with the most top level experience, of course. Arsenal legend Matt Ryan.
For 6 months. For one game.
Did he play?
Yeah, against Aston Villa. He was good. We lost, but he was good.
And the one to watch is actually a 30-year-old. I've gone for their main striker, Martin Boyle, late to the party as a professional footballer.
Interesting.
Late to the party, full stop, in terms of being a professional in any kind of sporting capacity. Tall, maybe I'm going for target men as my ones to watch. But in the qualifying, he got 4 assists, and 3 goals in quite a low-scoring campaign. And Australia don't have the talismanic players that we've come to know and love over the years, like Tim Cahill and Harry Kewell. Steve Corica. You don't even know who that is, do you? No.
Who?
He's a Wolves player from the mid-90s.
Steve Carrick.
He's a Wolves player from the mid-90s. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Martin Boyle. His name sounds as exciting as I think Australia might be in this tournament, but we'll find out. Perennial dark horses, maybe, the last few years, Denmark. Starman is, of course, Christian Eriksen. We, of course, all remember what happened in the last tournament. Yeah, we were together.
I remember. We were there
randomly
together. Yeah, I know. It was on a Saturday afternoon.
And it was that.
It was very emotional.
Yeah, it's one of those you remember where you were moments because of all the eyes being on it. But it's amazing to see him playing football. And he will still be the star man for Denmark. And God willing, nothing bad will happen again.
Exactly. I feel I'm getting emotional now.
Yeah,
again.
It's mental really, when you think about it, though, because you're so emotionally invested into all of these things. And, despite the fact that, he may or may not play for rival teams or has played for rival teams, it's a real leveler, isn't it, that kind of stuff. And with the one to watch, I thought about Damsgaard because of everything that's going through, but it seemed again quite obvious.
He broke, he broke through in the last one.
Yeah, I know he did. He broke through in the last one. I was really struggling with the one to watch with this one. So I've copped out a little bit and gone for Højbjerg. Do you know what? Because in the Denmark system, he actually plays more of an attacking role.
He does.
So it's a change of role to what we normally would see him in. Maybe what we started to see him in Spurs recently, picking up some important goals. But I like him a lot. I think he's a very good footballer. And I don't think he needs a shop window because he's at a top 14 currently still in the Premier League. But for me, just would be interesting to see how he plays in more attacking role for Denmark. And everyone's the biggest hitters in this group, Tunisia. I can't tell you very much about Tunisia, I'll be honest. Their star man, if you remember Sunderland when they were in the Premier League, which feels like a long time ago, Wabi Kazri, who I just remember being really good on dead balls, corners, free kicks, everything that I read the last half a day or so that I've been looking at this team. That is still what he's known for. He's still known for dead balls. And the one to watch, I've gone for the guy that plays for Man United, Hannibal. He's a starter.
Birmingham on loan.
Yep, he's a starter. He's currently playing in the Championship. He's a defender. He's again the only other midfielder. They listed him as a defender earlier. I wonder if he plays defense. Is he defensive midfielder?
He's prone to a card.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Probably why.
But again, I would be doing you disservice if I would pretend that I've been researching Tunisia all week. So he was the next person that I'd A, heard of, and B, played at a team I'd heard of.
Yeah, I hear that exactly there. And you know what? Interesting right there. I would say for Denmark, another one who's been linked to Arsenal, Jasper Lindstrom. He didn't start for them off the bench. Frankfurt, very nice and tidy player. So, Group D. This one's interesting. This is probably the first big call. Well, let's just say Ecuador finishing second's a big call. Or Poland. I'm going with Denmark first. Are we agreeing on this?
Yes, we are.
Because of the trouble in this France camp and injuries in midfield, even going into the tournament, right? There's been, a lot of pressure heaped upon Didier Deschamps for the style of football that he plays. Shock horror. very similar to over here in England.
Mm-hmm.
But the lack of midfielders they have quality in midfield, but not really much tournament experience in there. Tchouameni, Camavinga, not doubting their quality, but for a nation like France, where teams of these nations, when they've done well, they usually pick a lot of experienced players in these tournaments. That's one thing I'd say. England, what we're quite fortunate in having young players, but with experience in these big tournaments. So it's going to be an interesting one for them with this pressure surrounding them. The attack, you can't go against that, but that midfield and defense, when I've last seen them, Denmark play against France, they're beaten 2-0. Denmark are a very well organised side, better than they were in the Euros, by the way, and they were a good side then as well.
And they have all that experience and adversity to hold on to as well, which will be.
So yeah, being a more well-rounded side, I'm going with Denmark above France, but I'm still going France to go second.
I agree.
Because Tunisia and Australia are just Tunisia and Australia.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bloke called Martin Boyle that's the star man potentially for Australia.
Is there anything else you'd like to add on that?
No.
Fair enough. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat right here. Let's go. We've got a lot of love for Matty Ryan.
Yeah, told you. Arsenal legend.
Even Pac saying Matty Ryan right there. France and Denmark to go through, not least because I've got Danish family. Interesting. Big up yourself right there, Wilf. Mbappe, second fastest man in football, but Denmark are familiar and going to be top, and France second. I'm agreeing with you there, Moss.
Agree there, Moss.
Exactly, Moss. We're keeping you sweet. That's what we're doing until we talk about Canada. But yeah, we'll have to see. One of us as you're going through, and I'm sure you can guess who that is already. Aussie's got nothing on Canada. Would kill them. I think this is how Moss is working it now. How would Canada do against this team?
But they're not in that group.
Matt Ryan is a lifelong Gooner. That's why he came, and that's why it was his dream to come, even on loan.
Yeah, Myler was the other player I was thinking of.
Yeah,
but again, he broke through the last one as well. So
it's a bit boring, man.
It was difficult. It was difficult.
But he's a good shout. He's not doubting his talent, Moss, and you are right. He's a good player. But, he's going with a player that, that you want to, one to watch, someone that might catch your eye or might even catch another club's eye in Europe as well. Let's see here. Martin Boyle.
Keep them coming, Wolf. I'm loving them.
Oh, man.
I'm going to use that one when I'm watching it with Jacob.
So Paxton's gone with France to finish first, Denmark second, Australia and Tunisia saying sorry, Measury right there. And then giving you all my secret picks. Nah. We discussed these as well, Moss. Don't worry about that. No Wales or USA, but kind of like Iran, shouldn't even be in the tournament.
Yeah. I've just seen what Wilf said.
But can Hannibal do it? Personally, I think he can see.
It's a Hannibal Lecter joke from Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, I get it, Wilf. He's too young.
Oh, man. This is going to be a long show. I'm only joking. Big up yourself, my brother Wilf. Check out the Canadian Panenka today. Cavallini.
No, I'm not going to. I've seen a chip penalty.
Oh, man. But yeah, we'll move on into the next group of this tournament, which is my group now. And this is Group ABCDE with Spain, Germany, Japan, and Costa Rica. To Spain. People. Star man has to be Pedri for me. This guy, tremendous footballer. What a talent he is, Pedri. And you know what? To me, he should have been. He should have won the thingy. What is it? The
golden boy. What's
the golden boy? The copper trophy.
Yeah.
Which Gavi won. Disgraceful for me. What a footballer he is. Even in the Euros, Spain built a lot of their midfield in and around him. He shone in that good Spain side, I thought, quite underrated. I thought, you know what, because of the lot of talk surrounding Spain, I thought they were dark horses. Semi-finals and to lose to penalties. Easily, if they made that final, I think, with that midfield, they could definitely beat England. And the only issue for Spain is they don't really have many goals, which is why I've gone for their one to watch is Ferran Torres. And I think this could be a big tournament for him. He's not had the greatest of time at Barcelona since he made his move from Manchester City. Started well at City, but injuries kind of curtailed his career there. Signed for Barcelona in January Had a good start, good like first half a season, like many of their signings did in January, except for Adama. But
he had a really good first 3 games.
He
Thank
did.
you very much.
He did, yeah, and there was enjoying him there. But yeah, with Ferran Torres, someone who plays across that whole front line, right wing, left wing, central striker, him linking up with Morata, taking some of that pressure off of him, because we know Morata isn't the most reliable of goal scorers, but Ferran Torres is good for Spain, and he's going to have a big role in this one. For Germany, we have to go with the Germans. And then for me, my star man for Germany, you've got to go for it. We're talking about World Cup pedigree. They've got players that will make more of an influence in terms of other factors of the pitch, like your Joshua Kimmich's, your Manuel Neuer still in goal. You got to go with Thomas Muller. With that pedigree he's got in the World Cup, this is his tournament, right? This is the one he loves. Those late runs into the box, such an intelligent footballer. Yeah. You wouldn't pick him in any 5-a-side team if he was to make one, because he doesn't have anything outstanding in terms of a technical attribute or really a physical attribute. But mentally wise, being so aware and spatial awareness, I think it's important. And in these tournaments where you don't get many chances, and the chances you do create are through your movement and headed chances as well, Thomas Muller has to be there.
One of the most interesting things I've ever heard on Thomas Muller was both FIFA and Football Manager had to pad his stats, because if they put them in the ratings the way they normally would for normal players, he would have been like a 70 rated player.
Mad.
Because his physicals, like his mental attributes are really good, but his physicals and sort of everything other than his finishing,
like shooting, dribbling, and
would have been so low, he wouldn't have justified being at the clubs Bayern Munich. So it's nuts, I guess, that he's definitely one of those players where it's all between the ears kind of stuff, isn't it? And just knowing where to be.
Exactly. And having a good set of lungs on him as well, and looking after his body in that sense. But he's not particularly quick. He's not particularly skillful, but he's a very good footballer, and that doesn't take away his quality. One to watch, guys. We're talking about Pedri as a star man. One to watch. Someone who competed for him in that trophy, Jamal Musiala.
England's finest, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of English fans were able to see him against England in that Germany game, and I think he grabbed the headlines in that one. But if you've seen him in any Champions League games or any Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich games, what a player this is, and what maturity he has with those twinkle toes in midfield. Very, very versatile as well, pardon me. He's played on the left, he's played on the right, he's played in an attacking midfield role, in a false nine, but also deeper in a defensive midfield role. What a player he is, Jamal Musiala. And now for the other two, in Japan and Costa Rica. The star man I've gone for Japan, and someone that you might not be very familiar with, is Junya Ito. And the reason I've gone for him, Japan, they always have quite interesting, tricky and pacey wingers, haven't they? They've always had that, Arsenal fans, Real Miyachi, didn't do anything for us, but they've had players...
Or West Brom.
Yeah, exactly. Real Miyachi right there. Takumi Minamino, which is a lot of, the big developers, 442s, etc. Their favourites for their star man for Japan. But I've gone for Ito, and with his dribbling ability and quality going forward, I think he can give them, and you can catch the eye of a lot of people. But the one to watch is another winger, and it's someone who broke through from the Real Madrid Academy, and he broke through there, and that is Takefusa Kubo, who's on loan currently. I think he's on loan or signed at Villarreal. He's not having a great time there, but for Japan, once again, they've got some good attacking wide players there. They do have, Takehiro Tomiyasu in at the back too. Kind of obvious when I pick him, but yeah. So those two wingers I've gone right there that we may not be aware of, and I can see a couple of you gone there. We've got Kensuke Honda, what a player he was. Daichi Kamada, want to be Canadian star.
Has Moss managed to mention Canada on every comment so far? It's quite impressive, Moss. It really
is. He is quality indeed. So some good players there. And then for Costa Rica, I think it's once again quite obvious, the star man, another former Arsenal player. Probably a little bit of bias here. Not really. He's actually their star man, Joel Campbell. Very familiar with him as being an Arsenal player. But yeah, winger on that right side. And then the other one to watch is another winger. He plays on the left side. He's actually a Sunderland player as well. Sunderland. Was that any good? Why are you, man?
Any good bit wasn't. No, you wouldn't have been Indian, to be honest. So no,
So, yeah.
I'd back away from that accent.
So yeah, it's always hard doing the North, Sunderland and
It's
Geordie.
too far north up there.
Yeah,
Anyway.
too far. Yeah, for me to go. So yeah, I need something now. It is in fact Jewison Benete as well on that left wing. 18-year-old for Sunderland, certainly one to watch. And yeah, they're going to be very defensive, very pragmatic in for that side. I think it is. That's it. But young Benete as well, amazing boys. I know my CONCACAF, you'd have seen them much more as well. So big up yourself there, Moss, right there. In the chat. So yeah, I'm glad that you've co-signed that one because he's your CONCACAF boy right there. Let's go into the predictions once again. Formality in terms of the top two, but what order are you going for, Ed?
I think I'm going Spain top. Spain, Germany for me.
I'm going Spain, Germany as well. I do really think Spain are so underrated. I really do. People overlook Spain. They're not the Spain that they once were. But that midfield, guys, Rodri was their best player in that Euros tournament for me. Crazy how good he is in that midfield. And then you've also got a Busquets in there. You've got
so you do have some
players.
You do have some overrated bank average players in there, definitely.
You've got Mikael Oyarzabal. Do you like that? Yeah.
There we go. We're in for a long night, people.
You got Dani Olmo.
You didn't do that when it was Iran. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. But yeah, you've got some good players in there, good technical players that can score, that can create plenty of chances. But it's all about keeping them out in the back of the net. I think that's their only weakness. But Germany, second. The reason they're second, they're still young, up and coming, promising. And if you draw to England twice in the Nations League and how we perform there, yeah, you're not that great, are you?
No.
See?
Again, I think I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's another interesting group that. Yeah. Spain, Germany, Japan, and Costa Rica. There's a conflict in styles. There's stars. There's teams that are better than the sum of their parts. It's going to be a really interesting group. I'm getting more and more excited when we're looking at all this.
Spain, Germany for a group game. Now, it could easily be a final, let alone group game. Crazy. But I wonder if that's going to affect the spectacle we have right there. We'll have to wait and see. But guys, Group F, which is, that's my penultimate group. This is your penultimate group. As we get into the final two, and then we'll go right into that tree. And we
Moss, I hope you plugged in because we're on to Canada now, so we can actually talk about them.
We didn't show it. There it is. Right there. That's what we've gone for. So yeah.
So let's start with Canada before Moss kills me. I've gone for their star being, of course, Alphonso Davies. I think there's rumours he may or may not be fit. Is that correct? Or he's coming in. He's coming in not as fit as he would like to be.
Nope.
But he used to still definitely their star man. He's all over my YouTube adverts. Moss, it's like you've infiltrated me. Everything I've watched the last few days, even if it's not been football related, it's been coming up with Alphonso Davies telling me his story. Very interesting, though. I did listen to one of them, even though it's quite long. One to watch. I got both Wilf and Moss to co-sign this one. So it is Tajon Buchanan.
Brugge.
He's looked very good for Brugge or Bruges, depending on how you say it, in the Champions League. So, he's definitely one to watch. For me, Canada, the only real thing, and maybe Moss, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, their centre-backs, for me, is their one weakness, I would say. And that's what a lot of the pundits have been saying as well. But they are still, in a weird way, despite being such a well-developed and massive country, there are still very much a surprise package. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go. Croatia, star man still has to be Luka Modric. I love him because he's still older than me and still playing, so I can at least say that. And they're one to watch. I've gone for their centre-back that I think a lot of people will be looking at. He plays for Leipzig, so it's Gvardiol. I think he's going to be very, very interesting to watch. Young, good on the ball, dominant in the air. Like I say, playing at Leipzig, on that Red Bull train, probably to move on elsewhere sooner rather than later. Moving on to Morocco, again, hands up, not overly across all of my Moroccan players other than Romain Saiss. who is the captain and former Wolves player. Their star men, probably you can pick either one of Ziyech or Hakimi, probably Hakimi, with the pedigree he has. Obviously, Ziyech, the rumours are that he'll be leaving Chelsea sooner rather than later, not a Potter player. And when they want to watch, I've gone for Amrabat in that team. I think he's a ball-winning midfielder that's going to do a lot of the donkey work that a lot of people are rating. And he's he plays for Fiorentina, so he's already a relatively high club. But we'll see. It's going to be really interesting this, because we always see the World Cup as like the window, isn't it? The transfer window before the transfer window. But this one really is, because we're going to go back to our Premier League Boxing Day, and then all of a sudden 5 days later the window's open, and it's going to be even closer than when the World Cup normally closes in the summer.
Exactly.
And then Belgium, favourites in this group. Sorry, Moss. Starman has to be KDB, one of the best footballers I've ever seen.
This time we're getting a fit KDB as well.
Yes, exactly.
Because of what happened with the eye injury, which is what Son had.
KDB, we're on the back end of the Belgian golden generation, of course. Their defence, and me and Paxton had a brief conversation about this in the Discord. Paxton, if you're not in our Discord, Paxton has been dropping every single bit of World Cup news that you could think of in our chat. So big up, Paxton. Thank you so much for doing that again. And the one to watch, you're going to have to tell me how to say this, because I always get it wrong. Coletta Shah, is it? No, that's not him. Coletta Shah is the Croatian, isn't it?
Yeah.
So say it again for me.
Oh, the Catalan.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Exciting winger, starting in most of the games now. And he's one of the next generation coming through. So for me,
Charles the Catalan,
they are probably going to finish first in this group. And then the debate is who comes second. And Moss, I said Canada, he didn't. Let's move on. We'll debate it now.
This is where we took time for debating. First of all, Group F, winner, Belgium, all day long. Runners up now. This is where it's tricky, because Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. This is where I think there is a possibility of all three. Of course, Canada, if they ride the wave of that first World Cup since 96?
54, isn't it?
50,
is it 58? Is it? Or something?
Is it? Actually, not 96. One about. Yeah, that was a long World Cup year.
Moss will let us know in the
Moss, let us know. But yeah, first World Cup since then.
It's a very long time, I think.
So it's massive for a big nation like them. Morocco.
86. Could have been 86.
86, yeah. I knew there was a 6 in there. So
Moss would have told us, let's click on the tab before he gets mad.
No, he hasn't said
He hasn't said yet.
No. So the runners up. So yeah, what we're saying in there. Morocco underperformed at AFCON, not been great of late. But they certainly do have that stardust, that quality that we're talking about. They've got a decent, well-balanced side as well in there. So Morocco, not that bad. Bono in goal, not the one from
U2.
Exactly. But yeah, and then for me,
I'd love it if it was though.
For me, I've got to go Croatia. Yeah. Guys, what's all this old talk? Yeah, let's allow this for this tournament, right? Because this is a very unique tournament in the middle of a season, which I think it suits older players more.
Yep.
When it's get going, it's when older players have spoken about it. James Milner, I saw him in an interview. He says, "Stop, start." That's the worst thing you can do for an older footballer. It's when they want to play games consistently, and then in the middle of a season when they're not too fatigued, Luka Modric, Perisic, Kovacic, Brozovic. You know, you got Josko Vardio in there at the back as well. I'm sorry, I can't look past them. I cannot indeed. Andre Kramaric is their striker. He does well for them internationally. He's not a great player in terms of their, for Croatia, in terms of, what he's done in his club career. And he had a good time at Hoffenheim, having said that. I'm just having a look at the other forwards right now as we speak that they have, because they certainly have the midfield ammunition to help provide for these forwards. So I'm just getting it up right now for you, because I just need to see the forward line that they've got.
So the forward line is why I went for Canada. I've gone for the surprise factor. I know they've got obviously Vlasic as well, who, again, flattered to deceive, but has tended to do well.
He's a very good player. Luka Sucic, he's one that's from the RB Salzburg line of producing good talent. Liverpool interested in signing him. then these two players, Bruno Petkovic and Miroslav Orsic, two Dynamo Zagreb players who Orsic scored a hat-trick against Tottenham and then scored against Chelsea as well, and also scored against AC Milan and made Tomori look average. Obviously, from what Orsic did. And Petkovic is a good hold-up player. I think he's someone who's like a good natural replacement for Mario Mandzukic, who did a lot of the dirty work in their 6'4" striker. He's going to be a problem, man, Petkovic. And
he should have been my surprise package then if he's a target man.
So yeah, he's a big exactly that. So that's why Moss, unfortunately, I've gone with.
Oh, you putting your foot down?
I've got to do it, man.
Fair enough.
Got to go with Croatia.
Let the record show. I went with Canada.
All right, the record said he went with Canada. If Canada go through, I'm never leaving the end of this. Right. So I know the risk.
Canada goes through. No Tim Hortons for 6 months.
Exactly. Moss will be like, take that cap off. Take that cap off. Nah. I'm sorry, man. Got to go for Croatia. Let's see what you're saying in the chat right here. We've got plenty of love for Canada. I can see from Moss and Wilf in here. First of all, Club Brugge. Ed educates.
Thank you.
When Ed you see when I do that.
Yeah, when I do it, I get that. When you do it, you get, oh, look at Tereak.
I know. Hey, it's all right.
It's the love a real sidekick gets. That's why you're the star of the show. I have to get something.
Oh man, but yeah, Moss saying set pieces for Canada is going to be important. Victoria scored.
Massive fan of Southgate.
I know, right? Exactly. Tejan, my boy, wants him at Arsenal along with Jonathan David. Paxton, Vardiel, what a talent already.
I'll take that.
70.
Thanks, Paxton.
Yeah, Chelsea tried signing him for 70
mil. Yeah.
So, Eustachio, I'll hear about this from Moss as well, about Stefan Eustachio. FC Porto is our midfield maestro. Watch him, boys. Arteta look-alike and dominant in the Champions League and Portuguese League.
There's worse people to look like.
Exactly. Morocco, average at best. I know some people could say he looked like Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. Canadian's backline is their Achilles heel. Indeed, and Ed co-signed that right there. But of course, Will's gone for Belgium and Canada to go through. Otherwise, Moss will never speak to him again. But big up yourself, boss. Canada draw Belgium, beat old Croats and Morocco. Morocco are good too. I think you can beat Morocco. But I think Morocco could easily finish bottom. I don't know, man. I think
I'm going to say it again. It's an interesting group. This.
They're all interested.
I'm one or two more cliches away from getting a talk sport show at this rate. But Moss, can you just confirm why you're still here? It was 1986. Thank you.
Oh yeah. There
I got it right in the end.
I got the wrong. I knew there was a 6 in there. 1976.
54 was or 58 was Wales, wasn't it?
He's backing me. Pax, come on, we'll ride on this hill together. Belgium, Croatia, Canada, Morocco. Sorry, Moss. Whereas Moss, of course, is going for Belgium, Canada, Croatia.
That's what I went for.
Morocco. Just want to see Modric enjoy some progression with his team in the last World Cup for him. And I think he will. I think he will indeed as well. Canada only won't go through if they get stage fright. I won't say stage. I think there is the quality gap throughout the squad, though.
It'll be interesting to see how some of the players that don't play in the top leagues step up. It'll either make them or break them, won't it? And that's why, again, this is a really interesting group.
Hey, guys, get a counter, If you're watching this video...
That's at least 6, I think, by now.
Take a shot every time it says interesting group. You won't make it to the end of the video.
No, because my last one is Portugal and Ghana and all them sailors, definitely.
Exactly. Old Croatians, all over 30 nearly. But Italy, right? Do we say Italy are old?
No.
You know what I mean? Come on, guys. Come on. Italy, they always have older groups, but you call it experience. And that's kind of like where Paxton's saying here, there's a line between experienced and old/past it. So, certain strikers, certain number 7s might be in that latter one.
I think that's what Paxton's talking about.
Oh, is it? Well. Yeah.
I think, he's even breaking stuff from the Ronaldo
This is
interview.
interesting. Cristiano Ronaldo and Arsenal. I like the team. I like the coach. I think they have a good team. And if Manchester United don't win the Premier League, I will be happy if Arsenal do. All right, we've had Mudryk coming out, trying to get for us. Now we've got Cristiano Ronaldo.
He is going down swinging, isn't he?
He loves us, man. What is this? He should have signed for us in the end. That's what he should have done, not for Alex Ferguson. Canada got a Bono for this World Cup. Oh, come on, that was. Oh man.
It's a beautiful day.
I need to wrap this show up, man. We gotta get through one more. You know what I'm gonna do now? We're gonna move on into the next one. Guys, sorry. We're gonna move on into the next one. My final group.
Yes, it is.
And then Ed's got his final group. And do you know what? Ed, can you say it, please? Because I do think this group is
it's a very interesting group, this group.
Yeah, it is. And this is probably the group of death. The closest one.
You reckon?
Yeah, with Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon.
Not my next one.
I think this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one. So I take the reason why with Brazil and Serbia, Brazil and Serbia, they're probably the favourites. With Switzerland, though, we've seen them in tournaments. They can easily cause a threat. To be honest, they were unlucky to not get past Spain.
Yeah.
But in that one where they already beat France. And with Granit Xhaka in the midfield, you've got a mentality monster right there. But yeah, I'll talk about Switzerland first. I've spoken about him, Granit Xhaka.
Do you know what? This is Paxton's fault for bringing up Arsenal.
Oh no, right.
In an international chat.
Exactly. Your fault, Pax, right there. Granit Xhaka, star man, captain, midfield maestro.
He is definitely their star man.
He was their man of the match in that game against France where they were able to win after. Was it 3-1? Was it 3-0 or 3-1?
3-1, wasn't it?
Crazy. 3-1 down. And they're able to put it back. Captain, skipper, definitely their talisman right there.
Only thing that upsets me is he wears a number 10.
Yeah.
That lets him down.
But for the one to watch, I've actually gone for Noah Okafor. Brilliant Embolo. He has kind of, I think when he first broke through, I think it was the 2016 Euros when he initially first broke through when he was like a teenager back then. So
I think he was 18 at that tournament.
Yes, yeah. So I've not gone with him, but he's certainly one of their key players if they're going to have a good tournament. But I think Noah Okafor coming from that once again, RB Salzburg academy, and coming through that. He wasn't through their academy. In fact, no, he signed from Basel to RB Salzburg. Scored against Chelsea, very quick, dynamic forward, who's got an eye for goal.
Ghanaian heritage with a name like that, Okafor.
Correct indeed. Well, yeah, I remember reading up about him. So Noah Okafor, the one to watch. For Cameroon, who I'm going to say I still think they will finish last. Their star man, Vincent Abubakar, top goal scorer in the last AFCON tournament. And then the one to watch, and when I say this, is because not as a one to watch in terms of we don't know about him or his quality, but I think this can be once again another big step for his career if he's not already out there, and that's Frank Zambo Anguissa. Didn't quite make it at Fulham, showed a lot of talent in a lot of moments, had a good spell on loan at Villarreal, he's now ripping it up at Napoli, and as he's doing amazing things there. He can be someone, I reckon he could get, like a 1 or 2 year, like a PSG or Barcelona.
That good?
Yeah, that good. That's how good I think he is. And Zambo Anguissa, very unique in that midfield, very good at breaking up the play, but really good ball progressor with his dribbling ability.
Too, right?
Yeah, exactly that there. So Zambo Anguissa could be a massive tournament for him. Cameroon do anything. Serbia, before I talk about the Brazil, the team that we all love to watch in these tournaments. Serbia, right, they are a danger. And I think they can cause Brazil a lot of problems. Their star man, for me, I've chosen Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. When I did write that down, and then Jacob told me what his Match magazine said, Dusan Tadic, can't really argue with that either. And the two strikers in Vlahovic and Mitrovic, strong physical strikers. With Vlahovic is a very quick striker as well. He's got a bit of pace, can run in behind. But as you said, Ed, this is where I wanted to raise this point. And why I think you're right to go with target men, because international games are a lot slower, where teams defend a lot deeper. Quick players who are going to be who are renowned running in behind, you don't really get that much space to do that unless it's in a transition. Whereas big physical target men thrive in these tournaments, and I think having a combination of the two with the crossing ability of a Kostic, one of the best crossers in Europe, by the way. It's got one of the most assists in Europe for Frankfurt.
There's a pressure valve, isn't there, with the target man? In international football, sometimes it's about just seeing out that 10 minutes in a game when the other team have got the ball and you need someone to hold it up. And it's a bit different to Premier League games. It's tempo is ridiculous all the time, but international teams, it's in waves, isn't it? It comes and goes. And that's why I think target men. And without trying to again peddle like the cliches, it's going to be in the hot weather. We're going to be in hot stadiums, sticky stadiums. They're going to be times when you need to take a break, but on the pitch.
Yes.
And the best way to do that is a target man holding it up, getting a free kick, getting a breather, that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be really important.
So I think
Mitrovic, 50 goals for Serbia, is it?
Yeah, something like. Is it
nuts? Isn't it? I think
crazy.
He has got over 50.
Yeah, he's a joke and finished above Portugal in their group as well. So let's not forget that. So Serbia for me are they're definitely are they a dark horse if everyone says they're a dark horse?
We're back in the Belgium complex, aren't we? The last 10
we
years,
are.
isn't it? If everyone says it, then they're not. But everyone does say it because they think they are.
And then last but certainly not least, the Seleção.
Everyone's second favourite team, right?
Everybody's second favourite team. Brazil, star man, no other. This is really. It's not his last tournament, but it's last prime tournament where he's in ridiculous form, and this is Neymar Jr. Massive opportunity for him now to right those wrongs and kind of get rid of some of those like demons, I would say, from the last World Cup weren't great, but the 2014 one. It's a big opportunity as they are plenty of people's favourites. My one to watch, in fact, it's hard to, when we was discussing this, Ed hit the nail on the head. He said this to me earlier. How easy can you really have a one to watch when they're all household names? Yeah. Literally. And this one just signed for like 50 million for West Ham. And that's Lucas Paqueta. The reason I think he's a one to watch, Premier League fans, we haven't, if you're like, don't really watch much. I know we've got plenty of people that do, but most of the people aren't able to watch much European football or as much. But in the Premier League, we haven't seen his quality. And I think for Brazil, international football with its slower tempo, Brazil being a much more possession-based team as well, I think that suits Lucas Paqueta's game a lot. And I think not sure if he'll initially start, but I think he will break into that side. And by the time they're into the latter stages, first name in the team sheet, I think he'll be like, do you know what Saka was for the last Euros? Yeah. Didn't start, wasn't actually meant to even play a game, but came in and done so well.
So you're thinking Bruno Guimaraes starts in the middle of Casemiro? Is that what you're thinking then?
They actually play Fred.
Oh,
okay. Not for me, but yeah, they actually do like Fred. Yeah, so it'll be an interesting one. Maybe a Paqueta and Casemiro in there, or Bruno and Casemiro. But yeah, it will be an interesting one to see.
Last World Cup for Casemiro in near his prime.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Yeah, for sure. Definitely that for sure. And yeah, midfield, and they've got plenty of good defensive midfielders over the years. And there's one that barely even played for them, in Fernandinho. He's one of the best in recent history in there. So Brazil, it's going to be an interesting one. So now, before we get into it, we got to predict. And before we get into your comments, let me know your thoughts in the live chat or in the comments afterwards. Who is progressing? What was that there?
Just Bobby's in as well. So
big up yourself, Bobby K. Nice seeing you in here, my brother. Hope you're keeping well. We've already done Canada, and this is where you and Moss will be. Hey, look at that, the love. Hey, Moss, I think we're very underrated, and we'll keep the pressure on the boys.
I agree.
There you go. There you go. Ed agrees. Disagree. We'll get into it now. The predictions. Group G. Every single one and their dog is saying Brazil, right?
Woof.
but I can see easily them finishing second.
Okay.
If you're not right, if you in the group stages, if you slip for one game, that can cost you first place. If you don't start as well, I think that can be a trouble. Brazil, Switzerland first.
Yes.
Switzerland could grab a draw.
Yeah.
I could easily see that happening if Brazil don't come out of the blocks fast, sharp, strong. And with a Premier League, and once again, there's a lot of scope for upset. Nobody predicted, relating it back to, Arsenal, nobody predicted Arsenal to be top of the league. But in a very weird season, I don't know, man. I think you could see Brazil finishing second if they don't start fast. And Serbia, I expect them to beat Cameroon. I expect that to happen. And then there's the momentum building from there. And it's all about how Brazil deal with the pressure. And haven't done that in the last 20 years.
No.
But
it's a long time now.
Having said that, I'm still going Brazil.
Yeah. All of that said, but it still feels like Brazil are due one, and that's not how football works. But that is still what we all feel. But why are you going for second? We were debating this again while we were thinking about it.
If Switzerland do the unthinkable, right, and grab a win, I mean, against Brazil, then that's a lot of confidence setting them up for there. But for me, top of the group against Portugal has to be Serbia.
Yeah, I agree.
I think easily, Cameroon are the only side that I think all three of them teams will beat them.
Yeah.
But Switzerland, Serbia, even against Brazil. Remember, as you said, styles, opposing styles. These could make matchups, counter-attacks with physical strikers.
Brazil-Serbia is going to be fun.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah,
you know what this is too? It's an interesting group, this.
It is indeed. It is. But yeah, Brazil-Serbia we're going for. And then Ed, last and not least, with the last one in terms of our preview, but then we'll get into our predictions for the knockout stages and get you guys to work with us, is Group H, which is
It's an interesting group, this one too. Let's start off with CR7's team. Definitely the star man still.
For sure.
Similar to the Gareth Bale. The star is waning, but the star is still mouthy and very much out there. And potentially, Man United fans maybe cover your ears saying things that you don't want to hear in some instances, maybe not saying it in the right way. But I think really, if you dig a little bit deeper, for me, the star man's actually Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
He dictates, like he does for Man City, even more for Portugal. Way more intricate in their passing with him there.
More freedom,
yeah. And one to watch. This is everyone is linked to him, but Rafael Leao from AC Milan, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So depending on which publication that you read, he's either going to start or be the first choice off the bench. Either way, he's going to play. Either way, this is his. If he is putting himself out there to AC Milan, huge club, but to move up and get into a different league or get into a different stratosphere of team and wages, this is him to turn up. So Portugal, of course, we all know how pragmatic they are as well. So take that into consideration when we're talking about it. Ghana, for Rich and Roland, if you're watching this back later, star is definitely Mohamed Kudus, the midfielder. Good on the ball, bit of an all-action central midfielder. Interesting come up where he came from, but very good on the ball. Very, he's an interesting player to watch. He's one of those ones where if you watch his YouTube highlight reels, there's a bit of everything in there as well. One to watch. One, I think I picked this. A, he'll be their starting striker, but B, it's also because of his incredibly interesting backstory. So Inaki Williams, the Basque-born Spanish international with one cap, but in a friendly. So he has changed allegiances. He's gone to Ghana, where his mum and dad were born. His brother will be Nico. Is Nico right?
Correct.
Will be playing for Spain in the World Cup. He will be playing for Ghana. So we've got the Boateng brothers all over again in this. He's 28. He plays for Real Sociedad. He's one of the two black players that have ever played for Real Sociedad, who were Basque-born.
Atletico Bilbao.
Sorry,
they're also Basque.
Yeah. So, but Bilbao have the more strict. You have to be Basque or not from Spain to play for them, don't they? And he's one of the two black players that are Basque-born. Interesting to see how Ghana do. Obviously, they came through. Roland, cover your ears a little bit, luckily, to get through. So we'll see how they do. Yep. Uruguay. The Ghana-Uruguay game is going to kick off if Suarez starts, because, of course, we all remember the handball, the celebrating the handball. Asamoah Gyan blazing it. It's going to be very interesting to see how this goes. Starman, similar to the CR7, still more than likely Suarez is still their starman in terms of status. You could argue potentially is it Nunes as well now coming through as this sort of bull in a china shop type centre forward, and I don't mean that in a negative way. One to watch again, not probably one that's out of the blue. Valverde for me, I think, is the one to watch for Uruguay. Very integral to how they play. His positional change at Real Madrid is incredible, from sort of a holding midfielder to a winger now and all that kind of stuff. He's a fantastic player. And again, depending on what podcast you listen to, read, a lot of people saying he's the fulcrum to if they're going to do well at this tournament. And going on to South Korea, one of the teams with Wolves players in it, as well as obviously Portugal. Could have mentioned Neves or Nunes, but I don't think either of those are going to be ones to watch. I just can't wait to watch them in the World Cup. But of course, star for South Korea, again, similar to the last two that we've talked about. Son, has to be Son, despite an injured Son. Where Ben Davies tried to make it even worse. Did you see the celebration the other day? When he grabbed his face.
A match of the day. Yeah.
He's definitely the out-and-out starman for them. But there's a winger from Freiburg that I've been reading up about. It's Zhang Wu Young. He came through at Bayern Munich. He has a buyback clause because of how well he's playing at Freiburg at the minute. He's a young winger. He's 19. He's scored 11 goals, I think, in 2 seasons, but he is more of an out-and-out winger that gets the ball into the box. So he's definitely one to watch. That's Wu Young. So, yeah, it's an interesting group.
Exactly right there. Ed interesting. Educates right there. So, yeah.
Oh, no, I've mentioned Son, and Moss is already all over it.
Yeah.
We haven't got time for this.
Yeah, we haven't. But yeah, in terms of the predictions for this one, right, I think we've got to look at this. This is a potential group of death.
Yep.
I can see. But Portugal, I can't go past them. I don't think they're... Honestly, I may be wrong by saying this.
The star power's high, isn't it, with this team?
I do think that are the unhappiness in the camp, because you've seen Bruno Fernandes look awkwardly shake at Ronaldo's hand, and then what else did you have? And then in training, João Cancelo, who was upset with everyone else because of a tackle, has kind of been overblown by all of this. I honestly don't think a lot of them will be too bothered about what Ronaldo said. I'll be real. The Portuguese players, it's not their fight. It's not their issue. No. It's a Man United one.
And you have to remember the status that Ronaldo's taken this country to in terms of its footballing.
Yeah.
I think that will outshine any controversial statement he has. And Fernandes always looks a little bit annoyed.
I've never seen Fernandes happy.
No.
You know what I mean? Never. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, he always moaning at the referee, so I'm sure he's got a reason to moan at Ronaldo. And the actual reason why there was a little bit of, like, frostiness is because Fernandes was late, and Ronaldo said to him...
Called him up on it?
Yeah, he says, how did you get here? By a boat? and then Fernandes was a bit like, sorry, like, I'm late and that. So, yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, it's one of them ones because it's, the narrative at the moment, as his interview's probably, finished by now. But, yeah, I will watch that back later. And hopefully you guys will as well. But, yeah, Portugal's finished first. Runners up, got to go with Uruguay.
Yeah, that's what I had down.
Sorry, Rich. Sorry, Roland. Sorry, my Ghanaian brothers. The Jollof Wars, I know you got Nigeria to qualify here, but, yeah, Uruguay. Sorry, I don't even like saying it because I remember that. Was it quarterfinal? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful.
Huge.
That was awful. I was supporting them, especially. I will be on the reason why I was supporting them is because an African nation has never made it to the semi-finals. So it would have been great. It would have been amazing to see on a different day. It might have been.
It's cheating, isn't it, as well, at the end of the day? So it's difficult sometimes to overlook it.
It is indeed. But there's our predictions in terms of the groups. Let's see what you're saying, and then we'll go into the knockout rounds, and then we'll call it a day there. We'll fly through the knockout rounds a little bit quicker. But let's see what we're saying, people. We've got plenty of love here for this group, this interesting group. Now for a good month, Bobby K. We are a team and together, not enemies, like in the Prem. Exactly that there. Ghana, boo, says Moss. Portugal got talent, but will Rotten Ronnie ruin it for them?
You should be a headline writer, Moss. I love it.
I know, right? I like that. Uruguay, I like. Son, how's the cheekbone? Korea, nada. Uruguay, Portugal, Korea, Ghana. So it's gone Uruguay. Is that first in there?
Yeah, it looks it.
And then Portugal, Uruguay, Ghana, and then South Korea in at last. Nobody's gone for Ghana to go through, which I think is
honestly
what most people are saying.
That Ghana Uruguay game could
be an interesting
Ghana. I think depending on when they play.
Yeah,
are they the first game? If it's like the fourth game and there's nothing in it, Ghana could just go out there, and because that hasn't been forgotten and won't ever be forgotten.
Yeah. I get you. I hear what you're saying. There's some more players there: Torreira, Suarez, Nunez, Bentancur, as well as Valverde in that midfield. Just like how Ireland still hate Henry, Uruguay versus Ghana will always,
Maradona for England and all that kind of stuff. Those things run deep, don't they?
Yeah. And then Argentina, England's always got like the Falklands as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. There's
so
always
political stuff in terms of that. There, Will saying, "Hey, I played for Athletic Bilbao." Big up yourself, right there. And then what have we got here? Oh, they're against each other now. Moss, why are you hating on an injured, out of form man? Did you have a bad experience with South Korean food or something?
Dear. They're falling out. I thought Canadians were supposed to be too polite.
They did. Nah, man.
Although, to be fair, that is quite a polite way of arguing.
It is actually. So, Pick up yourself, Bobby. But Bobby and Moss, there's already separations in the Canada camp.
Just quickly, Moss, remember that. It's just for 1 month only.
Only for 1 month. Love that, people. Oh, I've gone for Ghana to go through.
So who have you gone to go through then, Wilf? Ghana with who?
Ghana gonna top.
Then Portugal.
And then Portugal.
He's already answered it.
Interesting right there. Yeah, I don't think we've not gone for that. But in terms of the next quick one. Right. Let me just make sure I'm just checking back and forth.
Let us know if you can see it.
Yeah, I think they should be able to see this now. Right. Netherlands versus Iran.
Netherlands. My love for Iran stops there.
Argentina.
Ooh. The PSG rivalry.
What are you saying, bro?
Argentina. I'm saying that quite confidently as well. I don't quite know why. Don't ask me to justify it. We said we do it quick.
Argentina. England, Ecuador.
If we're a split, we'll ask the chat. England. That's where I think we finish, though.
Denmark, Poland.
Denmark.
Spain, Croatia.
Spain.
5-3 was that in the last one. Good game.
Just remember, Bobby and Moss, that would have been Spain, Canada if it was me. Oh, wow.
Brazil, Uruguay.
Wow. Do you know what that is? Interesting game for round of 16 game, that is. Brazil.
Belgium, Germany. Ooh. History says Germany.
Belgian defence is still, for me, a letdown.
3 goals against a poor England side.
True.
I'm going to go Germany now.
It's up to you. I've said Germany. Okay. Oh, Serbia. Recent history. I'm going Serbia.
One Portugal. Rock, paper, scissors.
What, on shoot?
Yeah, on shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh,
yay!
Whatever.
Serbia.
Because pretty much
what did you say Serbia?
I did, yeah.
I'll say Portugal. Yeah.
That's how Sepp Blatter picked Qatar, by the way.
Exactly, with a few brown envelopes. But Netherlands, Argentina.
My first thought, 1998 Birdcap's goal. Just get that out there. But I'm still saying Argentina.
Yeah, I'm going to back Argentina here.
Brazil.
Ooh, what a game.
Oh, if we play Denmark.
Bro.
Yeah.
If they win the group.
Yeah.
We could get them. Oh, we could beat him.
England.
Oh, my days.
Which is it? I'm gassing us up now. We're going to win.
You said this is where we end.
Yeah.
Without even knowing who we're going to get.
I didn't know who we were going to get.
Oh, my days. This is live reactions, people. Right. England, Germany, Portugal. Or you would have said Germany, Serbia.
I would have done, and I think I'd still be back in Serbia, So
I'm back in Germany.
So we'll have to go Germany because I had Portugal out in the last round. Right, here we go. Oh gosh.
Oh my word! What a semi-final matchup! Oh, this is.
There's so many wars involved in this, by the way.
What a
history!
Argentina, Brazil. I'm going Brazil.
Yeah.
No, Argentina won the last final in the Copa America 1-0.
Yeah, I think this Brazil team is something different though.
They were good then.
I know, true.
but I don't know. Brazil. This is ridiculous.
Sod it, England. And then we lose to Brazil in the final.
Oh, I can't believe this. Third place now.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. No one
watches it.
Anyone ever watched
I've never watched it. I've never watched
There's
it.
a question for Moss. If Canada got to the third place playoff, would you watch it still?
Of course he would.
Because I wouldn't watch it if England got to it.
Oh, man.
I'm pressing it.
Yeah.
So somehow we've managed England to get to the final when I said we're out in the quarters. I don't know what we've done here too. Or the last hour and a half or however long we've been going.
We've lost all respect now after this. Oh, did you? Oh, man. Bobby's answered your question there. Sorry.
Yeah.
We've gone for Brazil to win the World Cup. That was interesting. That was like a quick fire one.
I didn't know how that got there. That's the first time I've seen our potential paths.
Yeah, because most people went with France to finish first, didn't they? England get knocked out to France in the quarters. But I think we beat whoever finishes second in Group A. Even if it was Senegal, I think we beat them. So unless it's Netherlands. If Netherlands do a shocker, then I don't think we beat them. Because we played them before, didn't we? And we lost. Oh, man.
There's a lot of good games in that, though.
Oh, man, this World Cup. Has this kind of got you...
Oh, yeah.
You was excited anyway. I was excited, but I think this has got me even more excited. Let's see what you're saying. Wilf said England, Argentina final. Said it on Aled's show. Interesting right there. Interesting. Let's bring this up just in case you haven't seen it already. We said Brazil, England final.
Somehow.
Bro, if we got to the final, I don't know what we'd have to do. In terms of stream-wise. Yeah, it would be.
No, the big screen again up here, and we'll just have to put cameras somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. Stick a webcam up there. Yeah. Oh, man, that would be hilarious. Let's see what you're saying. Argentina, Netherlands. I think I have. Okay. Is that your final?
That'd be interesting too.
That would be interesting. Let's see what you're saying. I'm just having a look, see if I missed anything.
I'm not arm wrestling. I'm just saying there's no point me arm wrestling him. He's left-handed and I'd still lose with my right hand.
Oh, man. Let's have a look.
That's where we were.
Is that how we got to? Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm chat to scroll up to over here. I want Croatia to win and Canada second, only because Rich's fixed poll gave me Croatia.
I got Qatar. We got Qatar, apparently.
Yeah. Ed's fault. I'm not claiming that.
Yeah. I spoke to a man in Thailand for PayPal for 20 minutes, changing a phone number from 15 years ago to pay £3 to get Qatar. Fun.
I mean,
the fun things you do for sweepstakes for.
I think Qatar paid a little bit more than that to get the World Cup.
Just if it was, yeah. I think Australia did, but they didn't get it. Remember?
True. Yeah, it's a good point.
That's why I said he went down to that. Rock, paper, scissors.
Holland, Argentina, England, Denmark, Spain, Brazil, Germany, Serbia. Yeah, man, that would.
Have Serbia ever got out? Is this Serbia's first World Cup or second?
They were in the 2018 one. I'm sure they
second.
I'm sure they were. Yeah.
I just wondered if they ever got out of the group before. And I pretty much had them in the final at one point just so.
Yeah, exactly. Moss, I really think we have enough pace to trouble Belgium's and Croatia backlines. If you do play in a counter,
my worry is the other side for you two, and I think both of you would.
KDB balls into. I don't know if you're sorting that out, people. Yeah. I think they've got enough pace to trouble your backline as well. In all fairness, but unless you sit really deep, it's not easy to use the pace. Argentina, Brazil. That's the same semi-finals that we got. Oh man, that would be crazy. And Pax breaking news: Thiago Almada, this is for Argentina, has been called up for a replacement for Tucu Correa in Argentina's squad.
Sorry, for who?
Tucu Correa.
Okay.
I think that's Joaquin Correa. Yeah. That's Joaquin Correa, one who plays for Inter Milan.
It's in the Discord.
Nico
This is
Gonzalez
what I'm talking
out,
about. People,
Angel
if you're not in the
Correa,
Discord,
Tuco Correa, Thiago Almada. Do you like what I'm doing here? Spanish.
I know
Español.
what you're doing.
España. Changes confirmed. Fabrizio. Appreciate it. I don't know what I did that as well. Fabrizio.
How does Fabrizio talk?
Fabrizio.
This is what I'm talking about. If you're not in the Discord, Paxton is always giving us stuff.
Exactly. Big up yourself, my brother Pax, each and every time. Brazil, Germany final for me, for sure.
Do you want to go out in the semis or the final? What would you prefer?
Final, man.
Yeah,
all day. I enjoyed the build up to the last final, man. That was class. We beat Germany again. Do you remember what the nation was like?
Yeah. Oh. We stood outside in the pouring rain in gazebos.
Yeah.
Which were close to falling down.
Exactly.
But no one really cared.
No. Exactly. So
how things are different now, isn't it? We wouldn't have been this close.
No.
This time last year we couldn't have been.
No, true. Yeah, it's a good point actually.
So much has changed.
It's mad. We had social distancing and that, I forgot.
The country needs some lift right now, let's face it.
For sure, definitely. That can't happen.
It would.
Brazil,
that is a nuts
Argentina, Brazil. Bro, Moss, that would be amazing though, wouldn't it? That'd be amazing to watch. Storylines, etc. England, Argentina final, mad. Could you imagine it? Germany overdue another 7-1 win. Come on, Pax, believe, man.
What should we tell them what we did during that 7-1?
We was on FaceTime.
We FaceTime pretty much in silence, just going, what is going on?
I've never seen a football match like it. No. Bearing in mind, at that point, I've already seen Arsenal lose 8-2 and that. Like, that was worse. Arsenal had Carl Jenkinson at right back and Ignacy Mikel.
How have you managed to shoehorn Arsenal into that again?
Because we got battered. But yeah, I watch every match unlike you lot. Qatar.
Wow. I'm going to watch every match, Moss.
Literally, Moss, I will say this. I said to Ed earlier, Moss is going to watch every single match as well. I know for a fact you will.
How's she finding it over there? Let us know, Moss. Like, what's it like?
What, is she in Qatar?
Yeah. It'd be really good to get an insight. Genuinely would be really good to get an insight what it's like over there.
What, does she live there?
No.
She gone to the games?
She got tickets.
Mad. No way. Fair play. Big up your sister there. No way. Yeah, you know what? We need to get photos. I need to get like actual proof of where she's staying, etc.
It's
what food, etc. Yeah, I need a vlog. That's what we need. It'd be good YouTube content. Tell her. But yeah, Tereak should show Canada more love where the Raptors at. Sorry, man. Sorry. I just gotta go with my head saying not the heart or other way around. Because I got a Raptors cap. But yeah. Let's see. Wow, that's amazing, Moss. Oh, she has a great time. Apparently the facilities are world class. I've seen other stories about the facilities being awful as well. But yeah, it depends. It depends on how much people are paying and that, I guess. I think in my bracket, I had Brazil versus France in the final. Big up yourself, Luke. That would be interesting. I guess you've gone with France to finish first, knock out England, etc. Yeah, that would be an interesting one. Because what did we have? Argentina, France. Yeah, then they'd be in that side of the draw.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what would be really interesting. Because Qatar are getting people over there.
Yeah.
So it would genuinely be really interesting to know what she's how it's going.
Yeah. Some intense for 200 a night. Lol, my sister's hotel, all paid for by Qatar. Wow. No way, that's crazy. It's mad. So yeah, it is a weird one. It is a weird one indeed. Nothing really revealed for Mane and stuff. Once a replacement comes in, it'll be announced, definitely. And Paxton will let you know as well in the Discord. What else we got here? Boys, as always, a brilliant show. Big up yourself, my bro, Wilf, each and every time. Don't deserve to wear that cap. I'm getting a lot of annoyed Canada now.
There's a fresh trend coming, so you can leave it.
Yeah, exactly. For about next week.
Yeah, Paxton, T showed me that earlier.
I showed, yeah.
Salad as well, by the looks.
Greek salad. It's Greek because it had one olive in there. Yeah. That's crazy. Mediterranean salad. Oh, Tereak banned from Toronto as well. Guess he'll have to visit Saskatchewan. No way. I'm not accepted there. I'm not with my predictions by Moss now. Indeed. But guys, this has been a great one. Any final words that you want to say, my bro, before I wrap up?
England game next week. I'm definitely doing it.
Definitely.
Hopefully, you will be too.
I need to check. Yeah, I booked annual leave. It was pending. I'm on annual leave now, but I need to make sure that that's all sorted. So yeah, guys, we'll definitely have a watch along in store for you for the England game. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, people, that's when we will be back, England versus Iran, for that first game in the World Cup, and it should be a cracker. We've got plenty more coming as well. Won't be doing it for the Qatar Ecuador one because
that was the next thing I was going to mention. Someone's birthday is on Sunday.
Exactly.
As well as the World Cup starting.
Someone's turning 24. Now it's time to you guys to guess who that may be. I bet if we both took our beards off, it'd make it even harder. You don't both look 24. So, yeah. I appreciate you, each and every one. It's been a fantastic time. We've enjoyed it for an hour and 50 minutes now. But, guys, love for all the support you've shown. Big up Paxton, Bobby, Moss, Wilf, Luke. Am I missing anyone else? Anyone else?
Everyone else in the back.
Everyone else in the back. Roland, who came here earlier. CM, each and every one of you people. Sorry if I missed your name out, but yeah, man, you guys have been phenomenal. Thank you once again for all the love that you guys have shown. You guys are the best, man. And yet, just as Paxton's in there as well, people, get in the Discord server. Links in the description. We will see you soon. Love and peace to you all as England are about to make the World Cup final.
It's going to be an interesting one.
And it's coming
home.